Um, we're going to do a training right now on how to give a testimonial, how to do it in an effective way, and how to do it in a compliant way that will protect our company moving forward, right? Um, Goodness, this is something I actually have a lot of experience with, and experience means you did it the wrong way and suffer the consequences, right? Does that make sense? And so I want to give a bit of a backstory on this. In 1994, in the US, the FDA wanted to make it so almost illegal to get supplements unless you're going through your doctor, and people freaked out about it. And there was more angry, upset letter writing people than at any time in U.S. history except for the Vietnam War. Okay, and the politicians, they bowed to pressure and they made a law, and they called it the Dietary Supplements Health Education Act. And this law was supposed to create a new category of products called nutraceuticals, where if the product was standardized and it had some decent research behind it, you could actually make limited legal label health claims, right? So so they take the law and they give it to the FDA to implement, right? So there's a massive difference between a law and the implementation of law. Different regulatory bodies get in charge of that. There's different interpretations of the meaning of different laws. Does that make sense? And so it's an extremely dynamic environment where and the big issue is that the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of money. And you see some of the most evil entities on earth are big pharmaceutical companies, right? And they are extraordinarily profit driven, and they fight dirty on competitively. Does that make sense? Dirty, 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 right? What most people don't realize is big pharma does not, they pay for an extraordinary amount of media advertising, not because that is so effective in selling their product. They pay for that so they can control the narrative of everything that goes on in media. You following me so far? Right? They control that because if you are a media and you post or create content that they don't like, they can say, "Oh, we don't like that content. You better change it." Does that make sense? I have seen news organizations create a whole uh, segment, video, like TV, on my company's product deliberately. I'll give you an example. It was a product and it was helping people with cancer. Young girl gets cancer, tumor on her brain. They do a scan showing the tumor. She gets on the product. It changes her life. They do a second scan showing there's no tumor. Later, they do a third scan. And guess what? There's no difference between the second and third scan, meaning there's no tumor, right? ABC's 2020 does a show on the product and the company. They interview the doctor who did all three scans. And on the interview, he says there was no difference between the scans. They edited it as if what he was saying is there was no difference between the first scan and the third scan. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Playing dirty, dirty, dirty. Here's an example in the UK. Same company, okay, in Royal Bournemouth Hospital. Um, from what I was told, this is my business partner was very involved in this. Prince William and Prince Harry's personal physician was involved with this, and she was very impressed by certain supplements. Okay. And she said, you know what? We should do an experiment. We should take every single person walking in the hospital, everyone. We'll put everybody on the product and just do a study and see what happens when everyone is on this particular supplement. They had the um, purchase agreements, everything was set up. They were doing it. The the hospital administrator one day told her, "We're not going to do this study." She goes, "Why?" She goes, Everything's ready." He goes, "No, not going to do it." And he wouldn't tell her until she pushed him. She goes, "You need to tell me why." He goes, "Here's the deal." He goes, We get a 7 million pound a year grant from a certain pharmaceutical company. This pharmaceutical company came and told us, if you do that study, we will yank that grant from you. He goes, I cannot run the hospital without that grant. Right. So you understand the what we're dealing with, right? But good news, the good news is this. So often when people start doing things like this, they think, oh, we can help this condition, we can help that condition. I'm going to talk to people about their condition, and I'm going to show the clinical evidence that we help with this condition. And then we'll get a lot of people with that condition, we're going to help them. And that is a common misconception. I'll give you a personal example. In 1994, when I first started with this other company, I finished college and I moved to San Francisco. And this company had a particular product. It was an aloe vera extract, and they had done some studies. And one thing they did study on was AIDS. Right? Early 90s, still a big deal, right? And they did a predictive study that if your T cell counts are a certain amount and your viral load was a certain amount, that 80% of the people in that study got results. I'm young, I'm zealous, I'm in San Francisco. I see a big problem. I see a big solution. I'm like, we're going to help people, right? Guess how many people with AIDS I got to get on the product for to help their AIDS? Anyone want to guess? How many? Zero. Absolutely zero, right? So I want you to understand how the conversation goes, okay? Oh, Bob, I see you have a certain condition. I have something to help your condition. Bob's like, not used to my friends having clinical conversations with my friends. Bob is like, but I have type B of this condition. Does your product help type B of this condition? Well, let me go ask, see if I can find some specific research on that. Oh, here we go. Here's some clinical evidence showing that my product will help type B of your condition. Bob's like, oh, that's very interesting, this clinical conversation. I think I should probably also have a clinical conversation with my doctor. Hey, doc, will this supplement help my type B clinical condition? Doctor doesn't know anything about it. Is the doctor going to recommend that you take something they don't know anything about? Absolutely not. Doc's like, that's not going to help you. He's like, sorry, uh, no. Right. And by the way, does Bob with the condition, does Bob see what his friend is doing and go, that looks like fun? Sign me up for your company where we have to get super clinical and technical and talk to people about their health conditions, even if they don't want help. Do you follow me so far? All right. So here's the backstory, and here's how we're going to solve all this. You ready? Super simple. Do you know that people with clinical conditions don't actually care that they have a clinical condition? Do you know that? They don't care that they have a clinical condition. What they care, here's what they care about. They're not sleeping well. They don't have good mental clarity. They're in pain. They have no energy. Their digestion sucks. That's what they care about, right? So understand this. Features tell, benefits sell. Features tell, benefits sell. Now, with this first company I joined in 1994, who wants to guess? And people, you're welcome to unmute yourself. Who wants to guess how many years did it take for me to actually make a six-figure income? Diligent, keep going. How many years? Somebody unmute yourself. Tell me or put in the chat.
13.
13. Yes, you're right.
I think that's what I heard you say in one of your talks.
Right. 13 years. One day I got an aha moment because I was good about talking about the science. I was very good at the salesman thing, right? And I'll remember it like it was yesterday. I'm in my parents' duplex in Snowmass Village, Colorado, and this couple is sitting on the couch. I'm talking to them, husband and wife, about this amazing product. And the husband looks at me, he goes, oh, he goes, what did you study in college? And I'm like, what? I said, what? What does that have to do with our conversation? Then I'm like, oh my God. He thinks I do such a good job at talking about the science and everything, right? That you must have to have a science background to do the business. Oh, interesting. What's the chance he might buy the product? What's the chance that he wants to join my team and do the business? We get back to a normal number. That'd be zero, right? Okay. So I've strung you along long enough. You ready? Who's ready for the solution? We want the simple solution. Okay. So my personal mentor, um, she was a naturopathic doctor, brilliant naturopathic doctor. Okay. And she charged $250 an hour. She didn't take insurance, and she's also a smart businesswoman. So she's like, if I'm going to be in business, I'm going to charge $250 an hour. I better deliver what people actually want, right? So she would have a new patient, right? Or she have a little file folder, right? And she would ask them, "Hey, hey, Samantha, hey, Bob, what do you want me to do for you?" Bob's got MS, fibromyalgia, cancer, whatever. What does Bob say? Bob doesn't go, I want you to get rid of my fibromyalgia, cancer, MS. It's not what Bob says. Bob says, ah, oh, if I could just have more energy, man, if I could just have a little less, if I could just sleep better, if my digestion would just improve, if I could just think clearer. Interesting. What does everybody want? I don't care, young, old, sick, healthy, what condition? What does everybody want? They want better sleep, more energy, better mental clarity, less pain. We can call it discomfort, better digestion. Everyone follow me? That's what they want, right? So take the conversation. Bob's got some sort of weird condition, type B. His friend goes, "Oh man, you know what? I recently found something. It's been amazing. Like all of a sudden I'm sleeping great. I've got energy, my digestion is awesome, and I don't, you should try it." This guy goes, "Will it help with my condition?" I have no idea what help your condition. Haven't the faintest idea. But I think if you took it like me, you might feel a lot better. He's like, yeah, where do I buy it? I want to try some of this. Interesting. See how that changes like that? Right. Furthermore, if he likes the product, he's like, well, that was kind of simple. He didn't even explain anything to me. He sent me maybe a link to a website, a video. I could do that. I have time. Looks like you get some training. Looks like people are having fun. Sign me up. See the difference? Is this helpful to people? Right? So you want to talk and furthermore, what this guy is doing to help his friend with a medical condition, you do not pop up on the radar to regulatory bodies. Does that make sense? Like if all we do with Maxillan is like, oh, we help people's gut health to be super happy. Okay, you're happy gut health. Like, doesn't is that making clinical claims? No, not at all. Does that make sense?
But I think as well, because we're expecting our product, it's on its way, that when we start taking it, and I've also got from my mom who's 93 in a care home, who's like got first stage dementia, and I start like making a journal of how I'm feeling and how she's feeling. That's going to be exciting because when you see changes within yourself, like you're so excited, like you know what I mean, you want to talk about it. Other people's testimonials are amazing as well, but I think if people like listen to you yourself because you get excited about what's going on. So I'm excited to receive it.
Absolutely. Here's here's a would you I've recruited hundreds of people in a network marketing. Would you like the simple technique? Who's interested in the simple technique?
Me.
All right. Here's what you do. You say as little as possible to as many people as possible with as much enthusiasm and music in your voice, right? So my computer's about to die. Many of you, I would say the majority of you, will spend, and this is I'm being a nice guy, I'm trying to help you, okay? Many of you will spend more words trying to unsuccessfully recruit one person than me recruiting 10 people,
Hmm.
right? You get nervous, you want to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. It's like it's not what works, right? You're is this helpful what we're going through? Your prospect, here's this. Your prospect is asking themselves four questions. Four questions as you're interacting with them. Does that make sense? Your prospect asks themselves four questions based on their ability to answer all four of these questions. Yes, they will make a decision maybe to be your customer or maybe to join you in the business. Who here is struggling getting people to join your team?
Me.
All right, here we go. Here's what your prospect is asking themselves. Can I do what you're doing or do I want to? Do I have the time? Will I get help? Would I do what you're doing to me, to my friends and family? And do I even like you? Would I like to go on vacation with you? Right? It's like so. What people do often, when you say as little as possible to as many people as possible, often what you're doing is you're putting feelers out to see if they're looking for what you have. Too many people, they're like, oh, I'm going to educate them into submission to make them take the product.
Hmm.
I'm going to give it to, oh, I know. I'm going to give it away to them to try. That's what we're going to do. Brilliant. No, I know from that other company I was with, um, people so often will give away product, but more than one person told me, oh, yeah, I went to the wake. This person died and we were at their house, kind of at their wake, funeral type of stuff. And I'm in the kitchen and I open up their kitchen cabinet and guess what's sitting there? The product that would have helped them with their cancer, unused.
Wow.
If I don't pay for something, guess how much value I have for it? That will be zero. Well, I'll be nice. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll take your product. Like, you know, we're not interested, right? And you're like, no one wants to take it. I'm like, so I'll give you an example, right? I meet this lady. It's a couple years ago. I was selling a great product, right? And we go out. My wife and I are like, we should let's go do something. We go to this cute little coffee shop down by the river. Okay. And there's some people sitting next to us, and we start conversation with it. And this woman has a dog. I'm talking to her. We're talking a bit about travel. And all I say is, oh yeah, I've been traveling a lot for business. I've traveled here and over there on business, right? I want her to ask me what I do. Okay. I want her to be her idea. She's curious. She's like, what do you do? So I pull out my phone, right? And this is what you can do with Maxillan as well. I pull out my phone and I just say, I'll show you. If you ask somebody, what do you do for work? And they said, I'll show you. They have your attention immediately. You're like, what? Like, boom, curious. Instead of just, oh, polite conversation, what? Like I really care. When you go, I'll show you, you're like, okay, what? Like all of a sudden I'm focused. Does that make sense? Right? If you did that for your Maxillium business and you just pulled out your phone, you start showing pictures, ooh, I'm not saying anything, nothing, zero words. So you're like, wow, what is it? Well, Samantha, your health starts in your gut, right? You know that? You're like, oh yeah. Well, this is an ancient strain of probiotics that has been engineered to be antibiotic resistant. It's the first product of its kind that will make it past your stomach acid, get into your gut, push the bad guys out of the way, and repopulate and get your gut back to the way it's originally supposed to be. Doing crazy things for people. Next step, I'm gonna drop it. Samantha, how long have you been working where you're working, anyways? Samantha's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Back to what you were saying. How do I get information? See the process? Like, oh, cool. Hey, what's your cell phone number? I'll text you something. Boom, I've got on my phone, text her. Done. Does that make sense? So I did this with this woman and I went back later. She called me the next morning, 7:30 in the morning. She'd been looking into it. She goes, here's $1,000. I want to join. I went back and counted 35 words in total from what do you do to shut up and take my credit card. 35 words. You see? Because she's like, oh, I could do what you're doing. It didn't take any time. Looks like you just use tools, so there's help. And I would do what you did to me to people I care about. I can see what I mean? Now she wants to join the team. See the difference? Right? So I want to give some examples, right? Samantha gave a testimonial the other day about a kid with autism, and it was like had everyone in tears. Does that make sense? Right. I want to give you what I would love to see in Energy Max is that we all develop the skill set. Um, Jackie's on the call. It's her son. Awesome. So that we all develop the skill set of how to give a testimonial that is crazy effective and compliant and succinct. Does that make sense? Right. And I'll do more training on this. In fact, I'll make a booklet like here, fill it out. Does that make sense? So, um, what the thing that people miss typically is they do a couple of things. Too much clinical information, right? Like for Jackie, it's like um, we don't need to know autism, right? If I simply said, my son from a very young age has had some real significant neurological issues, not only turned his life upside down, but turned the whole family's life upside down. Do I need to say more than that? I do not. That makes sense? In fact, his older brother, he's in a care home at the moment, same situation, right? So, what you say, the next step, so you want to be no, we do not need clinical history. Does that make sense? Well, I was had this condition, I've been on this medication, and I tried that, and blah 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 blah. It's like, stop, cut, kill that. Does that make sense? Someone can just say, look, instead of listing your 5 different autoimmune disorders, if you go, oh my God, my immune system was definitely my foe instead of my friend, and I had some crazy, wacky health issues going on that no one could explain. Done. Does that make sense? Click. No more need to list. I've got fibromyalgia, and then I fill up colitis, and then later they realize I also have blah 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 blah. It's like no, we don't need to know that, right? But here's what the thing you people need to talk more about is how what were your emotions? Does that make sense? Like if Jackie was telling her story, she could say, "Oh, my kid had some crazy developmental issues, neurological issues, like Turner, our whole all day, every day, it consumed us and him." Awesome. How did you feel emotionally? Man, I just felt hopeless and life looked bleak, and I had a hard time having hope for the future for our family or for my son. Important. Does that make sense? Right? We need the emotions where you were, and then briefly have this conversation. And we tried everything you can imagine. Don't need to actually list everything, right? But it's like we tried every therapy. We spent a ridiculous amount of money. And um, then one day, we'll have Jackie chime in here. Then one day, my friend so and so told me about this product, and I decided to try one more thing. And in a few days, like we're noticing he's using vocabulary he's never used before. He's wanted to, he always wanted to keep his life very small. Now he's wanting to try new things, which is like crazy. And one day we're driving back from the beach, and I'm going to mess this exact details up. And he just kept on stroking his face and just saying, "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you," like 20 times. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it's like, okay, cool. What are the emotions now? And we have hope for our future. Like, there's joy in our home again. Like, we have a mission too we know a lot of families with this issue. Like, there's something we can do with our lives. See what I mean? Is that helpful? Jackie, go ahead and unmute yourself and share anything you'd like to share about that. Is this helpful? Does
Yeah,
that make
no,
sense?
thank you. Thank you so much. That is really, really helpful because autism is a great example of that because it's a spectrum. It's so vast. So someone will think of autism and think of someone they know whose child's got autism, which could be very different to where my boys are on the spectrum. So being able to remove that word is really helpful because I'm also aware that even mentioning the word or something that can help it could brings up resistance in some people because some people just believe it's a lifelong condition and that's it. So
Yeah.
even mentioning the word, so that's been really valuable to hear that. Thank you. So it's just
Yeah.
it's the description of the changes and the emotion behind that that's important. Um, because
Yeah.
it
If I
will be
said to you,
very
"Oh, I
different
have
for
something that'll
everybody.
help," if I had said I have something that'll help your kid with autism, too often for many people, it's like, "What? You don't think I've tried everything?"
Yeah,
You know, like, "Oh, you don't think I've tried
exactly.
anything?" Uh-huh. You and 5 million
Yeah.
other people giving me unsolicited health
He'll
advice. I'm like, "Come, please." I'm just like, I'm
he'll
over it.
agree.
I've accepted, right? But if we're like, "Oh, you know, might help some digestion issues," like, "Oh, well, we're always looking for something." See what I mean? Right? Very different conversation, right? And you're like, "Oh my God, he's tons better." I'm like, "Shocker. No idea that would happen," you know? It's like, does that make sense? Right. Awesome. So let's go back over this again. It is under the simpler we can keep it, the better. Okay. We do, it is not helpful for our business if we had legal free reign to talk about all the clinical conditions we wanted to. That's actually bad for business. Does that make sense? You do not you do not convince people into submission. People are interested or they're not. Does that make sense? Here's a fundamental aspect about recruiting. And please remember this as you go forward. Um, the more effort it takes to get someone in the business. Oh, they have this question, they have that question, they want to see evidence of this, blah, 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 blah. So the more effort it takes to get them in the business, the less they're actually going to do. Does that make sense? Goes like that. Okay. Remember that other product we're talking about? It was an amazing product. I had a booth at the Whole Life Expo in downtown San Francisco one year. So tons of people everywhere, people walking past, right? You know, the most effective person I met the entire time, this guy walks past, he stops, he turns around and he looks at my booth. He goes, what are you selling here? There's something important. That was it. Had zero to do with my fancy sales skills. It was like ding, 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 ding. I've told people, say for example, they have a condition. I know I can get you to take this, 80% chance this is solved. I'm like, I could help you with that. And they keep talking like I never said anything. I promise you, you ask them later, didn't Steve offer a solution? They're like, what? Did he? I didn't like, I don't know. No. Didn't they're not, hello, nobody in there, right? I've also had people go, oh, I mentioned a product, or just say, yeah, I have something that might help with that. This is their response. Where do I buy it? What do you mean? Where, buy what? I haven't even told you like the first bullet point. Why? It's like there's radars up. Does that make sense? They're looking for it, right? So before I give much information, I put something out there to see how you respond. Like, are you going ding, 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 ding? I'm looking for it. Yes. Okay, now we'll proceed. Right. So that's why I've only got so much time and energy. That's why I go through as fast as possible. Does that make sense? Hey, we have this extraordinary product. Are you looking to do something amazing? Yes or no? Right. Boom, 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 boom. Does that make sense? If someone I'm working on recruiting tells me, you know, Steve, last Tuesday I ran out of peanut butter, so I won't be able to join your business. Guess what I'm going to tell them? Tragic. Totally understand. Good luck. Like it's got nothing actually. This is not a legit thing, right? But I'm not like they don't want to do the business. Like, no, no problem. Like, oh, you have an actual question on ingredients. 100%, let's answer that for you. But I'm not overcoming objections. I don't want to do it because of this. Well, don't like just don't do it. Does that make sense? In my world, no is a full sentence. Done. Right? Anyone have any questions? I've gone a little long. My wife is raising her hand.
Where can I get that those pictures on my phone? I want to, how do I get those
Absolutely.
pictures?
Whoever enrolled you should have sent you a welcome text, which has a Google Drive, which has those pictures in it.
Okay.
Um, and you can text me later, Kevin, and I will copy and paste that to you.
All right.
My
Thank you.
wife, my wife has a comment.
Simple shifts that if you're looking for people who are into health supplement solutions and new wellness technologies, you're going to have more success than if you're looking for sick people.
Very true. Here's what you don't want to do. Um, if you want to help a lot of people, don't chase sick people. Like look for people who are into health and nutrition and new technologies and different things like that. And you will build a massive team of people, right? Typically, you go to a Facebook community full of people with a certain condition. You want to get booted and get slammed? Tell them that there's something that could actually help them. Oh my God. They're like, we have a right to have this condition. How dare you come in here and try and sell us something? You're an evil person. Okay. It's like, oh yeah, they're violent about that. Like, how dare you tell us that something can help us? We just want to sit around in this group and talk about our condition. Yeah, we're not saying don't help people. Does that make sense? How am I going to help a lot of people? I'm building a team of people who want to be pioneers and spread this word. That's what I'm doing. So, anyways, Colette, you've got the floor,
Well,
but we're going a little long here. So,
okay, just she was talking about autism and you described it as a neurological situation. And even today, there are doctors that would put narcissism and bipolar people with those diagnoses in the spectrum. So the spectrum
sure.
has got a lot bigger. So it's because when you say the word autism, then there's people like, well, what if I know someone that's bipolar? Because they're already, so then you've included everybody by just
Sure.
saying the neurological situation. And as a naturopath, for me, it's much better to do it that way, regardless of the fact that we're not supposed to name conditions.
Here's an even simpler way to say it. My son, my daughter, my granddaughter has significant issues with emotional dysregulation. How about that?
Beautiful. Exactly. So that was my input. And then there's usually in most MLMs that have a really unique product that's effective, there's going to be practitioners that you could do 3 ways with. And then it's really, really important that not just that you don't try to understand it before you sell it or try to explain it to people or inform them to death. Um, there's always, you need to learn to do 3-way calls and let someone else be the expert so that when somebody does have a specific question about a condition, because they will ask you, does it help with this? Even if you avoid all the names of the conditions and you're trying to be compliant, you're still going to have somebody say, well, do you know if it helps with blah, blah? If you've got them on the phone with someone else, then
100%.
they don't think they have to know, like Steven's saying, then you can have 37 words and people are interested because you put them on the phone with another person who knows how to dance around. Hopefully the practitioner should know how to dance around those questions and give them the answer that's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't even need a deep science answer.
Well, Colette, you're a great example of this. There is in business, we have things called leading indicators. What does it mean? Is it, I want to be successful. Okay. Is there a metric in the business that is going to accurately predict that success is coming predictably? Okay. In my network marketing business, one of the clearest leading indicators of future success is how many 3-way calls people are doing, right? You, or maybe everybody on my entire team, has the ability to do things all on your own. Yet guess who's done the most 3-way calls, except for one random Russian woman? It'd be you. Does that make sense? Why? Because what are the 4 things your prospects are asking themselves? Can I do what you're doing? Will I get help? Right? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share this and then we'll be done because I could talk forever on this last thing. Don't do anything when you're small that you couldn't do when you're huge business. Don't do anything when you're small. You can't do anything when you're huge. Right now, when most of the people on this call, if someone asked you a question, you would try to answer it or feel bad if you couldn't answer it. But what you actually need to do is you had the ability to answer it, but you didn't answer it. You had a tool or another team member answer it for you. Even risking the person who's asking the question being frustrated with you. Why? Because I need to demonstrate that there's tools. I don't want to demonstrate that I'm the stopgap for customer service, right? And the reason you have a hard time doing that is because you care too much about what other people think about you. And so you're not willing to give yourself over to a system or tools that will do it 70% when you could answer 100%. And it's that right there. What will happen is you will work super hard and you're recruiting. See, the biggest problem for a lot of people is they're recruiting and their team is growing and they're like, it's working. And I can look at how you're doing it and I go, you're not going to get, you're going down the wrong road and you're going to hit a dead end on your way to full-time income and you're not going to understand why because you think that it's working. But my team's growing. My team's growing great. Have all sorts of people sign up. And I'm like, you have the wrong philosophy. You're going to tap out at maybe a couple of $1,000s a month and you're going to beat your head against the wall, not knowing why you can never grow a large team. And that's it right there. It's the ego, the willingness to just give yourself over to system, to stop talking because you're nervous. Like, anyways, that's it for today. I hope this is helpful for people. Was this helpful? Would you like me to do this regularly?
Loved it. Thank you.
I will post. I've done succinct 10-minute segment trainings on how to do network marketing, and I posted it all in a playlist on our Maxillan YouTube channel, and I will repost that playlist in the groups today so that people can, because you can go through and you go, oh, I need to review that one part. Does that make sense? Because it's all
Yeah.
listed. You can go back. I need to
And
redo that
just
part.
so everyone on this call knows, that YouTube playlist has that overview that Stephen did at the beginning, which has the pictures. So if those of you that were looking for those pictures that he showed that woman at the coffee shop, he called me the day he did that. He's like, I just used 37 words. I'm like, nice. So, and he was on vacation. He was traveling somewhere. He wasn't even home. He wasn't even like working the business. He's just enjoying life and living, with his family and doing the things that are priorities to us. So if you go to that playlist and click on the one that is the overview of the Maxillan story, I don't know what you call it there, it has all those pictures that you just, play it
Yeah.
on your phone and screenshot those pictures.
Here's what I'll do real quick. We will go to, let's see. Here we go. We'll go to YouTube and come on. Why is it loading so slow? Gotta change accounts.
Can you put that link in the chat somewhere?
Yes, I will do that as soon as it pulls up. Not sure why this is so slow. And it's Maxillan Global Unofficial is the name of the channel. And if we go back into, so this is the channel, right? If you go to playlists, there's playlists on Russian business training. That's got 12 videos in it. There's different Zoom meetings, different languages, all sorts of different stuff in here. But I will put that playlist in the chat here, and you're welcome to check it out.
And those are the videos when I'm sending people, they want to know when I'm sending out to my warm market or contacts or people that I've met somewhere, I go choose one of those videos for the person that I just
Yeah.
met. And that's the info I send them. I don't necessarily scroll through the pictures like he did with that one random stranger at a coffee shop. But if it's someone I know, I don't talk to them at all. I don't get on the phone and explain about the probiotic or try to tell the story myself. I'm like, here's the info. I'm super busy, but you're going to want to know about this. And I send him one of Steven's videos. That's what I do.
So, by the way, I'm going to redo one of those videos because, as my wife is so been so helpful in pointing out, I talk about conditions in the video. Does that make sense? So I didn't follow what I just trained you on. I talked about disease conditions, and I can redo it, and it will be just as effective, if not maybe more effective, without that. So I put, let's see, waiting on participants. Oh, sorry, hold on a second here. So there is the YouTube playlist, channel playlist. And here is the Google Drive folder that will have a lot of documents in it, including onboarding documents, pictures, different things like that. So anyways, gone way over. Appreciate all of you. Hope this was helpful. If you want more training like this, let me know. I'm happy to do it in the future for everybody.